Yes, people. Welcome back to another stream. Hope you guys are good. Make sure you guys smash the likes, man, on the way in. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. We're going to be speaking Arsenal. They're obviously in the quarterfinal of the Champions League against Real Madrid. Going to be a madness. City Brighton. We'll speak about that because it's a big game in the top four race a bit. But I want to start with this penalty for Julian Alvarez last night. We was just literally speaking about it before we went live because it's a big talking point on social media. Everyone's arguing with each other about.
LB, just what you do. Rums is in the chat, you know. Just like,
bro, this guy, man, he's ran off. He don't want to smoke in it, but then he'll come into the chat, man. Big up Rums, man. Big up Rums. Yeah, obviously everyone's arguing on Twitter about did he double kick it? Did he not double kick it? And if he did double kick it, is that really what should have happened? That he just gets a miss? Should he not have been allowed to retake it? So give us your thoughts in the comment section, people. I'll get as many comments as I can on screen. But yeah, let me start off with Wolfie, man. What's your whole sort of take? I know we just literally speak about it off air, but like, go on, tell the people, man. What are you saying?
Yeah, for me, I think everyone's over-analyzing the pre-kick. I think if you look at his foot position, once he's kicked the ball, it's almost impossible that it's not going to catch his left foot for me. But we're talking about the rules of it. The rules of it are weird, aren't they? I think were you just touching on it, saying that if a goalkeeper encroaches his line, it's not given as a goal.
Yeah.
And if a player encroaches into the box, it's a redo as well.
Yeah.
So the double kick, should that be a redo or not?
Well, the way I see it is, right, and some people are saying it's not the same, so I need people to explain to me why it's not the same. If you double kick the ball, it's a technical foul, right? If like Alvarez did, that's a technical foul yesterday, which is why he obviously the goal didn't go in. If the goalkeeper makes a technical foul, i.e., he saves the goal, saves the penalty, and this is only penalty shootouts, chat, he saves the penalty. They don't just give the goal and say, well, you've made a technical foul, so we'll give you the goal. He gets another chance to save it again.
Yeah.
And now people are flipping it and going, well, hang on a minute, if the keeper saves it, that means the attacker's got another chance. But that just doesn't make sense in my head. In my head, that doesn't make sense. The attacker is basically being penalised more for a technical foul than the goalkeeper because the goalkeeper gets another chance to save it. And people say, it's only if he saves it. But why? But they say that's the same with Alvarez if he misses it. If Alvarez misses it, he still misses it. I just don't understand why it's different.
I gotta say that the funniest thing about it all was when the ref was trying to explain to the crowd what was happening after the VAR decision. He's pointing at his feet doing that.
Nah, that's I don't have the audio on when I listen to these games.
You know what I mean? It's like crazy. And they were saying when it comes, it's like I said to my mate, I was watching it with, I was like, do you think that Atletico fans in the stadium now think they're one penalty up, you know, or level? Because who was it that missed it for Real? I can't remember. But like, were they thinking they were level on penalties? Had they been made clearly aware?
I didn't know until the chat told me. Because I don't have the audio, so I didn't have a clue what was going on.
Yeah.
And then, because it's
just because I know a double penalty just from my under 14 stuff, because I've had a few dubious ones as well. You just know it no longer counts. Like I only knew that from that, but a lot of people I would expect would have thought a retake would have happened, just kind of the natural, predeposition of where you think it would be, but. Yeah, it's always Real just find a way, bro. Real always find a way, don't they?
They're just a joke in this competition, man. Like they just win it all the time, man. It's just crazy. And yeah, I didn't even think like they were particularly great last night, Real Madrid. I don't think they've been particularly great for the last 2 years. If I'm being honest with you, like last year they fluked it, man. Like people say you can't fluke it, bro. Lunin last year who done an absolute madness in goal, like. Do you remember the Leipzig game? Leipzig versus Real Madrid. Fucking hell. One of the best goalkeeping performances I've ever seen. He was third choice goalkeeper at the start of the season.
Isn't he like top of the list for like ratings and for 2 performances last season in the Champions League?
Probably, yeah. Probably. He just come out of nowhere, this Lunin guy, third choice goalkeeper, turned out to be fucking mint. We was better than them, in the 2 legs, but we still lost. But they just find a way all the time. I remember 2022. When we was beating them and then he scored 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. It was just like they just somehow find a way. Yeah, we've played them. I think we've played them now 4 years in a row. Yeah, 4 years in a row we played them. We've been better than them 3 out of the 4 times, and we've only won 1. because they just find a way.
That's
They just-
heritage, mate. That's heritage.
Exactly. They're the masters of this competition. There's a reason they've won 15 or whatever it is. It's just because, this competition, it's different.
Even Herbal in the chat saying in the final last year, Dortmund were quality, and they just found a way. Real Madrid. They always do it, man. They always do it, and this is why you can't ever rule them out. It's like when they this new format, they were using to like Lille and Brest and all these guys, and I'm like, oh, Real Madrid will be fine. They always are. Everyone's, oh, they might go out the whole fit. No, they won't. Like they're not going to. They're going to do this every single year, man. And they'll look. They don't. They might not need to stink their way past us because we're not great form at the moment, but. If they do, then you'll just know it's their tournament every single time. 15 of them. And let's be real, they probably deserved majority of them, but there's been some where you look at and you think, yeah, they could have gone out. This is why this competition, you need an element of luck. You do. In any domestic league, you need to be consistent, right? Over your 38 game period or however many games you play. And that's why it was always respected more. You know what I mean? The Champions League winners are never the best in Europe. Well, that's maybe harsh. Sometimes they probably have been, but not always. And that's why this competition, you can't write anybody off, including us now.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Oh, he's talking himself up, boys. You hear him?
I've been so down, man. I've got to try and be better I've got to try and be fairly positive, man. I've been so down.
Is Saka going to be back for that game, bro?
Yeah, he is going to be. I don't know what Saka we're going to get, though.
Okay, another little bit.
Is that who you wanted, Dan? Did you want Real or did you want Atleti?
No, I wanted Atleti. But
right.
I never want Real Madrid, bro.
I think I heard a lot of Arsenal fans saying like they'd rather have Real Madrid, and I just can't get my head around that.
I agree with them.
I agree. They want Real Madrid because they feel like they come out and play football. Yeah. What they haven't realised, these Arsenal fans, is they come out and play football better than we do. So it doesn't really matter if they come out and play football. We're still probably going to lose.
Look, what's the second leg? That's all that matters in this. Where's the second leg?
The second leg's at the Bernabeu, bro. Yeah.
Is it really? Is it?
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, that's done, man. You don't do that.
We've got Everton. We've got Everton away, Real Madrid at home, Brentford at home, Real Madrid away.
Yeah, bro, you'll have to do what we did when we won it and smack them in the first leg. I think we beat them 4-0.
We ain't going to do that.
Yeah,
if I'm honest with you, bro, I hope that we're still in it in the second leg. I hope that it's not like 3-0 at home, we lose or something. You know what I mean? Because they've got the ability to. Look, I'll say this. Do you want to talk about Arsenal?
Sure.
Sure. I don't want to go ahead if you want to talk about it because the penalty still. Look, I mean, just quickly on the penalty, I've only seen it just now, literally before we went. I've obviously been at the Emirates last night, so I didn't see any of the penalty shootout. I was on the way back home, and I was on the tube as it was going ahead. So me and my dad were like, oh, what's happening? And you can't even look. Like, there's no signal on the tube. I'm like, shit, who's going through? We literally get back to Liverpool Street, and he's like, yeah, it's Real Madrid that won it. I was like, so shock. Anyway, so that's that. I did think it is a double touch. I think he's kicked it with his right foot onto his left, to be fair, Alvarez. That's what I would say. However, for this game...
But just quickly, Potsy, do you think then he should be able to retake it, or do you think it's just like, nah, it's just not a goal?
I've said, did he have to retake it? And straight away, it's like, no, the rules are that obviously it's sin as a miss. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because I feel like you should say take it again because it's not within the law. But if the law is that that's actually classed as a penalty, you're tapping it onto your other foot.
Yeah, they applied the rule correctly. But my question is the rule right?
The rule right? Yeah, I don't know that it is really.
My thing is, right, I just don't understand why if a goalkeeper makes the technical foul in coming off his line, why is he not allowed? Why is that not then given as a goal?
That's a great point, and I can't.
That's my point. It's
because
they're literally just the same. They're technical fouls, one by the attacker, one by the goalkeeper. If the goalkeeper does it, it's like, nice, do it again.
I think you should be able to do it again, really, but I don't think it's quite fair because it's not. It's like they're saying, well, he kicked it onto his foot, so he missed.
It's not intentional, is it? As well,
he's clearly not.
But I think that is the point of it. If you went for a double kick, you're looking to literally change the direction of the ball. And how many times have you seen it happen in comparison to encroachment? Like encroachment, either from the keeper or players, is more regular than this.
And there's more intent to encroachment than there is to accidentally slipping and maybe.
Yeah, he didn't mean to do that yesterday.
That's the only reason it got checked as well is because didn't Mbappe do that before? He slipped and double touched it.
Messi done it as well, didn't he?
Or was it Messi? And Mbappe just went straight to the ref, didn't he? And was like, double touch straight away.
Beckham fall over and blaze one back?
I remember
in the day?
Mahrez years ago for Leicester did it as well. That was like one of the first ones I ever saw.
Did it.
Yeah, I remember
think
that.
someone for City done it. I seen someone on Twitter yesterday saying a City played on it. People say it was Jesus. Apparently, Jesus done it.
Problem is Alvarez's fault. Like, if you look, he's planted his foot way too close to the ball and he's slipped. I mean,
because Beckham was against Turkey, weren't it? But I don't think he double hit it. I think he just skied it and slipped. I think.
Yeah, it was. England went out that day, didn't they? I can't remember. Yeah. Was it Turkey? He just absolutely blazed it over.
Yeah, he blazed it.
I'll tell you what, talking about penalties as well, Vinny's during the game was horrendous.
Oh,
horrific.
God. Have you seen it, Potsy?
Nah.
Oh, man. He gets a penalty,
conversion.
Yeah, he gets a penalty. It was
over.
Real Madrid in the lead in the tie.
They subbed him for pens as well.
Yeah,
they didn't even let him take
and then
one.
he just blazed it. It was a horrific penalty, man.
Was that an extra time? Or was that in the second half?
No, that was normal time.
Normal time, yeah.
There was like 20 minutes to go.
So bad. It was so bad over the bar. And like Mbappe was on there and he wasn't interested in taking it either. I don't know if he's getting Switzerland vibes again from when he missed it. So I don't know. Vinny's one was one of the worst pens I've seen. And they still made it through. That's
what they do, man. This is what they do. We've all played them, and they're fucking just something about that club, mate. Like people say they're satanic, innit? Like there's something about that club, bro, that's just like somehow they just find a way. Like, bro, we was 2 goals ahead of them in 2022 with like 2 minutes left, and they still.
Were you at home, LB? Was it?
No, that was at the Bernabeu.
Yeah, because
right, that was the best tie, right? Because in the first leg we beat them 4-3, right, and there was a set of City fans, and I was one of them, right? Shock, who come away disappointed from that game. And I remember there was another group of City fans saying, "Why are you moaning for? We've just won." I said, "We ain't fucking going to win. We've got to go to the Bernabeu, and we've got a 1-goal lead." And we got called, people like me, we got called negative and like fucking all this, standard crap that you get. And we went to the Bernabeu and lost. And in that game, we should have won. No cap, we should have scored about 8 goals in that game, yeah? And I come away from that game saying, that's an L result. And people was like, how is it an L result? We've just won by a goal. I said, it's an L result. And I said it, and when we just played them in this round of playoff game, I said before the first leg, I said, if we come out of this game, anything less than 2 goals up, we're out. Because when you go to the Bernabeu, you're getting cooked, man. That's
mate, Chelsea won there. Chelsea won at the Bernabeu. Remember we won 3-2?
We have won there. We have won.
Yeah. Do you think though, right? Do you think, because you all laugh when you said, Bernabeu second leg, isn't it better though? Because otherwise they're just going to cook us in the first leg and we're out for the second leg. Do you know what I mean?
No, but you could go there and low block yourselves to 0-0, 1-0, something like that. There's something about Bernabeu second leg. I just feel it always suits them.
Oh, it suits them. Yeah, I don't think even if the fixtures were the other way around that we'd have a chance. To be fair, I just don't think we're good enough, really. But
you've got to beat them in that first leg. You've got to beat them in that first leg.
Do you think you're just well defensive, Dan, and just hope for counter attacks, or just play them at the right game?
See, this is why I wanted Atleti, because I didn't want either of them, actually. I'll say that, but I wanted Atleti over Real Madrid because I'd never want Real Madrid, but I wanted Atleti because I felt like at least with Simeone you can just go to battle and just see if you can get it. If you go and try and play Real Madrid, I think they're going to win because, we're going to be playing Saka, Martinelli and Ethan probably as a front three, and they're going to be playing Mbappe, Vinny and Rodrigo. They've got the better quality. Now, I will say that we've actually got quite a good defence, and I'll probably go as far as to say it's probably better than Real Madrid's in terms of the centre-back pairing. But I don't know that. I think they control the midfield and they'll just counter attack and they'll score. If Man United and West Ham can find a way through, then Real Madrid are probably going to find a way through, right? So that's the way that you got to look at it. What I will say,
their attack was horrific yesterday. Mbappe stunk it out. And
you know what, Wolfie? They ain't been good all season, bruv. I've looked at some of their games in La Liga. They ain't been great, but look at them. They're still going to probably bloody win the league. They're still going to probably win the Champions League, and they're still in the Copa del Rey, I believe. So I do feel like they just got that thing. And I'll say this. With Arsenal, hopefully we're going to get more bloody injuries, but we've literally just got Havertz out when Saka's back. That's literally the only. I know we've got Jesus and Tommy Astrid, but they don't start. So in terms of our best 11, there's only Havertz that's out. So basically we're playing either Trossard or Ethan through the middle, and then the rest of the team is our strongest. So I would play White as right back and Timber as left back. I wouldn't play Calafiori or Lewis Skelly in this one at left back because I think that you need someone who's proper defender, and Timber's a ridiculous defender. Like, he's so good. Ben White as well has been, coming back is obviously got that mark as well. And then you play Gabriel Saliba and then play Partey and Rice in kind of a double pivot. People might think, wow, you're shitting yourself, but we have to. It's Real Madrid, right? We can't.
Well, the thing is, they live off counter attacks. Real Madrid, they live off it. Daniel, do you remember yesterday when I think it was in the second half where Atletico was attacking? They lost the ball and then they counter-attacked rapid and Mbappe went down when he asked for a penalty. I think he actually got the penalty. Was it when he got the penalty? Do you remember
when he got it?
He counter-attacked rapid. Yeah, when he got the penalty. It was just like that penalty that Vinny got came out of nothing.
Lightning.
But they're so quick at counter-attacking.
Well, it's not like it's restricted. Like, anyone who feels like they've got the legs in that moment is allowed to go and just counter-attack, isn't they? That's the thing. That's what I think with what Dan's saying, with like Timber and Ben White, they're the sort of players that are great. If you get a chance to counter attack, they're so good in transition. Like, they're so good going forwards, Timber, Ben White, to support that. So,
I wouldn't switch Timber around. I think he's been brilliant, mate. Timber.
He's like a new signing because you didn't get to use him last year, isn't he?
Yeah, and the thing is with Miles, I love Miles Lewis Skelly, and again, he was good last night. But if you kind of say like, well played, now you've got Vinny, good luck. Like, that's proper in the deep end. And I think with Timber at left back, White at right, what's our jobs? Well, just lock Mbappe and Vinny up, or Rodrigo and Vinny up, right? And then Saliba can deal with Mbappe. They know each other well, obviously, or Gabriel, whatever. So that's the only thing I've got, really. And I must say, I'm a little bit disappointed with the three of you, actually, that you weren't watching the Arsenal PSV game ahead of this Madrid derby, to be honest. Look, I do think we're in trouble. And I thought we were in trouble with even Madrid's side, but it's not so much. And people think it's because of the quality of Real Madrid. It actually isn't, because you've rightly so have said this season they ain't been great in the league and the Champions League. It's our mentality, man. Like, we weren't able to put in a performance mentally against Manchester United and Newcastle in the League Cup and FA Cup. So now we've got to try and put in a performance mentally and quality-wise against Real Madrid in Europe in the Champions League. It's very, very difficult. So I'm looking at the squad's mentality and the manager's mentality here, and I have my doubts. That's my biggest concern, really, other than the fact, oh my God, we've got Mbappe. This is what we wanted, right? Arsenal fans wanted Real Madrid because they want to go and see what we like against Vinny Jr. and Mbappe and Rodrigo and Bellingham and all these guys. For me, I'm looking at the mentality thinking we could probably have a good game against them, to be fair, in one of the legs, but are we going to get across the line? And I don't know that we can. So that's where I'm at, man. I think that it's going to be very difficult for us, and we know they've got more quality than us. I don't know anybody that fancies Arsenal other than a few of our fan base. I don't know anyone that fancies Arsenal. I imagine all three of you are saying you believe Real Madrid will waltz through it. So I think what I'll end by saying is this: if we do go out, which I think we will, and I think majority of people think we will, the reason I would want the manager out is not because we've lost to Real Madrid, by the way. I want to make that clear. Because there's no shame in going out to them, by the way. Yeah, it's like when Man City went out. I know they've been crap all season and everyone's laughing at them at the moment. But you didn't look at them and go, oh, God, they lost to Real Madrid. That's a disgrace. The Pep needs to go. It wasn't that. It's what you're doing outside of that. And that's what I will say. And a lot of people will say, fair play to Arsenal. They give it a crack, but it is Real Madrid. You know, they've done this against Liverpool. They've done this against City. They've done it against United before. They've done it against bigger teams than Arsenal, trust me. So, I just want to get a gal to put his combined 11 out again, like now. That's all I'm looking forward to.
Has he not done it yet? No.
He texted me today and said he's going to do another one.
No way. I hope he baits it, you know. A part of me is like, I want him to bait it, and I put a lot of Arsenal players in it, man.
The thing is, I don't think you're dead in the water, right? You do have a chance.
Of course.
You know, this is like Dumb and Dumber settings, 1 in a million kind of thing. You're saying there's a chance. So I think you're. The problem I got is if you go 0-0 at home, your fan base will think it's a good result when it's not.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Do you know what I mean? And
I think
like you will get pelters.
Want to be in the second leg. They just want to be in the tie still. Yeah.
You'll get pelters if you call out 0-0 as a bad result, as will Turkish, as will the usual lot. You know what I'm saying? But you have to somehow. I think LB mentioned earlier. I think 2 it gets you level at the end of the second tie. You know, to go through, you need 3 at home. Can I see you scoring 3?
No. I mean, look, you take any form of win against them wherever in any.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
You take the 1-0 and go there, but you know, really, you're going to need more than 1 goal. And this is the problem with Arsenal at the moment, is scoring goals. And people will laugh and say he scored 7 against PSV. Yeah, it's very different to playing Real Madrid, though, you know. And I do feel like there's a lot that we've got to try and improve upon in our final third if we've got any sort of chance, to be honest. Because as much as I do feel like mentally we're still a bit weak, we do actually need to have the quality as well. You need both. And I don't think we've got that at the moment. I mean, look, Saka coming back, if he is going to be fit, then of course it's a huge advantage because he's the only moments player that we've got. And you need a moments player to play Real Madrid because they've got about 5 moments players. So we definitely do need that. But what Saka are we going to get? You know, are we going to be able to rely on Bukayo Saka like we have for the majority of the last 4 or 5 years? I don't know that we will, because I saw the scar on that leg. It ain't pretty. Yeah. We've got now 2 of those, by the way, one with Havertz now as well. And I heard about how he got injured, by the way, which I'll tell you off screen, so I don't want to do it on air. It is absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, that is. That's another story. But yeah.
Tell us, man.
I can't say it. I'll say it off air. But
let's end the stream. I want to know.
Absolutely. Man, honestly, man. Yeah, man, it's mad. I heard about it yesterday. I know it's to be reliably true as well. But anyway, so yeah, I don't think that we've got the quality or the mentality to get across the line. The only thing you've got is hope, mate, and unfortunately, it's the hope that kills you. And it's why I'm not going to get too kind of too excited by it. I mean, Turkish said last night, I'm pretty excited. I get what he means, because it's what everyone would be. Oh,
yeah. When did you last play it?
2006 when we beat them, bro.
Yeah, it's the biggest game you can get, isn't it? It's like when people used to want Man United in the FA Cup away. Do you know what I mean? It's like
the route to the final would actually be similar to when we got there to the final last time. Potentially, because it could be Barcelona in the final, like 2000.
Oh yeah, of course.
Who would you get in the semis if you get past
we get Villa or PSG.
Villa.
So last year I think it was Juventus we had, or did we have Juve and Real Madrid? I can't remember what round it was now. Oh no, it was Villarreal actually, weren't it? We got in the semi. Sorry, ignore that. So instead, it would be exactly the same route for Real Madrid this time, and then it would have been Villarreal, but now it would be PSG or Villa, and then potentially Barcelona. So yeah, there you go. Arsenal fans get excited now and start thinking.
Kind of opened up a little if you get past this big roadblock. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
if we get past Real Madrid
last night, it would have been unreal. Like if Madrid had gone out, it could have been anyone's realistically.
Yeah, I agree.
That's true.
Agree. And even if you look at like Villa, like I know PSG are good, but like Villa could beat PSG.
Imagine if Asensio knocks out his own team.
I think Villa will go through.
Can he play?
Yeah, he can. Yeah, I've looked it up.
Yeah, he can play.
He's on fire at the moment, and
they changed that rule when Chelsea loaned Courtois.
The Geezer kept him in it.
Yeah.
I think Villa might go through. I think PSG are great, but they're very wasteful, you know. Very wasteful.
Yeah, they missed a lot of chances.
I think Emery in Europe, man. I never write him off, man. It's just mad.
Villa have one more than PSG do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they got a star on their name. But I want to ask you about Arteta.
Yeah.
2 questions about him. Do you think if you go out to Real Madrid, those Arteta enablers, the happy clappers in your fan base, will be like, well, what did you expect? It was Real Madrid. Is that going to be the narrative they push?
Well, they've already pushed the narratives beyond going out to Real Madrid, mate. So of course they'll lap that up. I will have a little bit more sympathy with them because obviously we've gone out to the giants of Europe. So it's not like, we need to sack him now because he's lost to Real Madrid. However, what I will say is there's many, many reasons as to why you can remove this guy from his position from this season so far. Like playing Partey at right back 7 times and not winning any of them. Yeah. And by playing Marino up front, not buying someone else, not changing it up, by not winning games. You know, against Forest and against West Ham, he wasn't willing to change it up. Manchester United, we can throw in as well. And when he did change it up, it wasn't good enough against Manchester United by flinging on Tierney and crossing the ball to Trossard when Marino's been up there all game. And now you're putting him back in midfield. Like all these kind of things he's doing, the style of play, relying on set pieces. There's been too many. And then you can look at going out domestic cups. And we've actually, amazing stat, right? Since we won the FA Cup in 2020, we won 2 FA Cup games since. And that one of them was against Oxford and the other one was against Palace. That is shambles of a record. Absolute shambles of a record. We've lost to teams like Brighton. We've lost to teams like Forest. We've lost to teams like Southampton. We've lost to
when we were in the Championship.
When they were in the Championship, exactly that. And then obviously we've lost to the likes in the league and FA Cups of the Newcastles and Man Uniteds as well. When let's be real, Newcastle are a good side, but you don't look at that on paper and go, "Oh man, Arsenal ain't winning that." Do you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Mm.
And then Man United, the worst Man United sides I've seen. And then you can add on top of that the Europa League games that we lost, because Ruben Amorim has beaten us, yeah, and Unai Emery and Ruben Amorim have beaten Mikel Arteta with Aston Villa and Villarreal and Sporting Lisbon and Man United. That's crazy that they've managed 2 teams in that time and they've beaten them with both of them. That's bad. On top of that, we lost to Olympiacos. One of the years we weren't even in Europe. And then the other time we've lost to Bayern Munich, and now we've got Real Madrid in the Champions League. So yes, you can look at progress and go, wow, how's this guy done that? And I've never once said that he doesn't deserve praise for getting us where he's got us. He might just need replacing to then take us to the next level, because other managers have been in that. Other teams have been in that scenario, yeah. Because Claudio Ranieri had a brilliant time at Chelsea. Yeah, when you look at what squad he had and how much money he brought in, but they needed Mourinho to win everything.
Yeah.
And Jurgen Klopp was needed because Brendan couldn't do it. Yeah, and I know it's a different caliber of coach with Mark Hughes, but they did need Mancini to come and win the league because Mark Hughes wasn't going to. So you look at those scenarios. Even Pellegrini, LB, to be fair, was a good coach, but you needed Pep, right? So I think now that might be the scenario or the kind of next phase of the process, which is apparently 4.5 now. We're putting 0.5s in this now, people. It's not phase 4 anymore. It's phase 4.5. I don't know what that
means. Who
means.
actually said that, Potts? Who came out and said 4.5?
Mikel Arteta, mate. Mikel Arteta.
Are you serious? It wasn't a thing in the fan base.
That's like when you're counting down from 10 and you get close to 1 and you're not quite ready. You're like 1.5.
Yeah. It's like, ready or not, here I come.
Well, like when you're telling your kids off, it's like you got 3 seconds to get it back. 3, 2, 1.5.
Yeah, it is, man. So I don't know what maybe the phases stops at 5. I don't know what phase 5 means, but yeah, Charles Watts, big up to Charles, because I get on with Charles. He said that we're in phase 4 and phase 5 is now delivering. And when he was asked the question, Mikel Arteta did actually say, yeah, we're between 4 to 4.5. We're not quite ready at 5 yet. And you think, what's happening here? Like, what is this phases bollocks?
Do you reckon when he got his job, he presented like a 5 windows, not 5
probably,
windows, but like
he
5
does everything on a
plan.
PowerPoint presentation, probably. Yeah.
And if he says now we're in stage 5, then the owners will go, well, you said to us once you hit stage 5, we'll be winning. If he says you're in that now, then he's failing, isn't he? He's below where he should have been at.
Yeah, but then if you said phase 4 last season or the season before, I'd have believed you.
I agree, but it's like
it feels more like phase 3 or
when
2.
He enters phase 5. It could take you 8 years to enter phase 5. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's like,
what is phase? I asked the fan base, is phase 5 rebuild phase 1? Because that's what we're doing. Like we're now in a rebuild again. This is his third
rebuild
team,
phase. Yeah.
Yeah, because the first he's had 3 teams on Mikel Arteta, right? Well, he's going to have 3 teams. The first one is he didn't like it. It won the FA Cup, but he ripped it all up. Second team is the one we've got now. The third team is going to be the rebuild that we need in this summer. Now, the reason I keep saying a rebuild is because actually when you look at Berta coming in, Berta's not coming in, right, and being interviewed, and they're going, oh, what do you need me to do? Andrea Berta, thank you so much. Sit there, get your cigar out, because you're not needed till January, because we've already sorted this summer out. Zubimendi's coming, Sesko's coming, Nico Williams coming. We're done with that. He would walk. He'd go, well, what are you doing? What are you here for then? Employ me next year. So he's coming in, and I think he might rip it up a bit. I think they might go, Sesko's on. No, we're not getting him. Sorry? That's who we want. No, we're not getting him. We're getting this guy. We're getting this gem. Yeah? And that's what I think we need to do now. I think we need a huge summer. LB said it the other day about how much he thinks Man City and Liverpool are going to spend, how much Arsenal are going to spend. I think all 3 of them are going to spend, to be fair. I don't know how much. I imagine Man City will spend more and probably have the better window, because they always do. However, when I look at it, I do think Arsenal need to now. And Arsenal is clear to everybody to see, whether you're a part of the club, outside the club, or don't really know much about football. It's clear to see the front 3 needs absolutely ripping up. Because other than
front 3 last night,
front 3 was in. Well, get ready for it, right? Are you ready for this? Our front 3 last night was Raheem Sterling on the right, Kieran Tierney on the left wing, and Marino up front. That was our front 3.
Sterling put a man of the match performance in.
Yeah, do you know what? Sterling was actually good last night. I mean, fair play.
Did PSV take any fans, by the way?
Yeah, and do you know what?
Fair play.
Do you know what, bro? They were unbelievable. They are an elite fan base. Now, there is a little caveat to that. They all got free tickets because their club's quality and refunded them. That is class. Like, that would never happen to Arsenal, ever.
Wow.
Did you see they went to AFC Wimbledon the night before as well to like just get themselves in the mood? There's like videos all on Twitter of them like cheering
I've seen
the Wimbledon game. Yeah.
No, I see a few of them obviously on the track tubes. They were absolute quality, and they were like, you could just see they'd been on the beer all day. They had no interest in the game whatsoever because they knew they'd lost and they were out. But they were unbelievable, and they celebrated every goal. They celebrated every chance. They were jumping in unison. It was full to the brim, and their club had paid for it. Arsenal, right? it was on average about 80 to 90 pounds to go and watch.
It was
that
an A game, wasn't it? I couldn't believe
Category
that.
A, right?
That's terrible, that, man.
There was about 45,000 people in the stadium. I'd say there's probably between 10 and 15,000 people that weren't there, and I understand that, by the way, because people are like, I ain't paying 90 quid for that. Like, we're through. Like,
completely agree.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're not playing it right. Mine and my dad's tickets were 70, but the problem is you had to pay it before knowing.
Yeah. That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously I didn't know what the score was going to be at the time. I remember thinking it's probably going to be like a stinky 1-1 or something because we were playing so badly. But when obviously it went 7-1, I'm like, right, we're through. And now I've just paid like 70 odd quid, and we're through.
Do you know what it is, Dan? I bet they would have already done their accounting and gone, if we get through into any fixture that's a knockout fixture in the Champions League, it's automatically category A because we need to fix our accounting figures for the end of the season. Yeah, that's what.
But do you know what, Dan? What they should have done, right? I don't mind. They don't need to give us free tickets because we won 7-1, right? Like PSV, what a club, by the way, to do that. That's outstanding.
That must have cost them about 250 to 500 grand, I reckon. To do
unbelievable, that. Yeah, and brilliant, and fair play to him for doing that. But what we should have done was gone, right, now that we've won 7-1, let's refund. Let's make them like 20 quid a ticket. So we can fill the stadium up. Discount it, yeah. Or if you can't do that because the ticket's already paid for, you get a free burger and beer in the stadium.
Yeah, food or drink.
Something like that.
That would be fun.
These are such wankers. They won't do that because they're.
But I don't think they can do the ticket thing. Because if they did that, we'd all be at you saying, "Look at the arrogance of Arsenal. They already think they're through before they're through." You know what I mean?
But they were through. It's not like they won 3-1.
Yeah,
they won fucking 7-1.
The burger and the chips thing. I think,
and also 15,000 more people. Like coming into the ground is worth discounting the tickets. Do you know what I mean?
I agree, man. But these people, they're just so greedy that they just want these people.
It's every club though. It's not just Arsenal. Same with City. They're all the clubs are doing it, man. They're just pushing, and it's it's crazy. But let me come to this. Big up to Denton, who just gifted a membership in the chat. W Denton in the chat, guys. Big up to you, man. I appreciate you, Denton. Big up for the gifted. I want to turn our attention to the Premier League. It obviously returns this weekend before the international break, which I'm super looking forward to, as always. Big game on Saturday, lads, for City. We're playing Brighton at home. Now, obviously, previously, we lost against Brighton away. We lost 2-1, even though we was winning 1-0 with 10 minutes to go. We bottled it. That's a big game, that, isn't it? That is a seriously big game. It's not on TV. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff, which is kind of mad, really, given how big the game is. But, if City win, we got 50 points. We'd be 3 points ahead of Newcastle. We'd be 4 points then ahead of Brighton. We'd be 5 points ahead of Villa. If City win on Saturday, boys, I'm going to start off with Wolfie on this one. Do you think that City are looking good for the Champions League spots? Or do you still think it's too early to say?
I still think it's too early, mate. This is a big weekend, though, because obviously Arsenal playing Chelsea. You're against Brighton. We've got Ipswich. What I'll say is you can't not win this one. If you don't win this one, especially if you're at home, aren't you, this weekend?
Yeah, we're at home, yeah.
I do worry a bit, but then I look at your fixtures and think they're pretty piss easy. You know, that's
why I'm like, I've already said I think 66 points does it. Yeah, 66 points would be 6 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. So for me, I don't look at this as a must-win game in terms of getting top 4. But if we don't win, that then puts, in my opinion, serious pressure on our next 3 games. We have to win our next 3 games if we don't beat Brighton.
But you got to take into account where Brighton are at the moment. Since we slapped them 7-0, they haven't lost a game. I think they've won 6 games in a row, 4 in a row in the league. Yeah, plus the 2 in the cup as well. And they got lucky against Fulham last weekend, past last second penalty and what have you. They feel in a good place. I just don't think Brighton will do it. You should beat them, mate. I can't see you not winning this one. I just think my biggest concern from our game from last week, if I was a City fan, was your players look like they can't be asked. That motivation doesn't look there. This top 4 race looks beneath them in some kind of way for me. And I don't know, man. Like, I looked at your players that were on the pitch last week. Everyone's seen that picture of Ryan Yates with who did you have coming on? Kevin De Bruyne and Marmoush. Yeah. And do you know what I mean? It was like, that's the quality of players you were bringing on, and you still couldn't get over the line. It's not even so you didn't even throw the kitchen sink at us. At least when Arsenal came, they could go. There was no strikers, no attackers. You had Haaland on, you had Marmoush on. I'm just not seeing the fight in City, and I think you need an atmosphere from the fans on Saturday, just to wake it up. I just feel that you guys think you're just going to sleepwalk towards this top 5, and it's done whatever. But you're just gonna. There's no spark, mate. That's the word I'm looking for. There's no spark.
Yeah, I know, man. I was mad disappointed with the performance against Forest. I did not necessarily the result. Yeah, I said after the game, I said we could have played great football against Forest and still lost because Forest are a good team and it was at Forest, right? But like we were so, yeah, man, we were just not good, man. You know what I mean? We were so slow, lethargic, dead. We didn't create nothing. I didn't think we did too badly defensively. Like, you didn't have too many chances, but to try and win the game, there was nothing there, man. And yeah, this game now for me is huge because Brighton win, they overtake us. They overtake us in the league.
Oh shit, they do, don't they?
Yeah, they'd overtake us in the league. Newcastle would then have a game in hand because they don't play this weekend because of the cup. So yeah, man, it would become a real struggle. But the only good thing is, like you said earlier, our fixtures are kind to us after this Brighton game. We've not got that many difficult fixtures. And like I say, for me, if I'm right and 66 points does it, we've still got 4 games left that we don't have to win. You know what I mean? But what that does mean is if we don't win against Brighton, you have to beat Leicester, you have to beat Man United, and you have to beat Everton. There's no like, oh, we'll take a point here. That's why like Brighton for me is a weird one. I don't think it's a must-win game in terms of the Champions League because I don't think it is. But if you don't win it, the next 3 games all are must win 100%.
You don't have a hard game, mate. And the ones you do are Villa at home and Bournemouth at home. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I know that City aren't going to get relegated to the conference, so I now need to see Man City in the Conference League. That's where I need to see them. So 7th place would be beautiful. Come on, Brighton. Come on, Newcastle. Let's get City to the Conference League, not the conference. Because they're the 2 teams, man. And Villa, like, let's be real, Villa are no muppets. Bournemouth have been on fire. So it is so tight down there, man. I can't lie. But look, I think City will get Champions League. I still fancy you to get in. Well, it's going to be top 5, isn't it? I think you'll easily get into the top 5. I don't see... I actually think it's going to be a matter of the last team. I think the 4 are given. I think Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest and City are a given. I think it's going to be a flip of a coin between Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa and Brighton and the rest of them, man. I don't know how to call it, to be fair.
Have you boys ever seen it this tight? I'm not used to this end of the table.
No, I've never seen
not
the
for this
5.
European.
I don't think this amount, not this amount of teams.
Yeah. Well, Brighton, like you said, Wolfie, when they lost to you, were like 10th, and the fact I think now that they could beat City and go above City, like it's crazy how much they've jumped up in such a short space of time.
Well, that's what we've been saying.
And we put 12 points between them.
Bro, we've been saying though, if you put like a 3 or 4 match winning run in, like obviously Brighton's different because Brighton came from lower.
Catching up, yeah.
But if like City do 3 wins in a row now, or Newcastle do 3 wins in a row, or Chelsea do 3 wins, that'll pretty much sort you out. Like we're just waiting for a team now. It probably starts now, yeah. And be honest, yeah. The race for Champions League probably starts now. There's 10 games left, and if you can put a winning run now together of 3 or 4, preferably 4, that's you done. That's you done.
Look at Brighton, man. Brighton have come from nowhere with 6 wins in a row, whatever it is. That's mad. They're like
LB's right. They had to catch up, Dan. They had to catch up. Yeah.
They need to.
You know what? Only in that race is it only Chelsea that have European football to rotate as well. I think it's only
Villa.
Villa
as well. Then,
yeah. But if you look at Brighton with that 6 wins, that's the reason now they're being spoken about. Yes, they have to do it again, but that's just proof that if the teams right now around them do that, look at what can happen. So yeah, it's a mad table. I can't even lie. It's absolutely mad. Like, it doesn't really bother me too much, to be honest, because I'm not really involved in trying to get from 8th to 2nd or 3rd or whatever it is. But if I was, wow, I'd be bloody nervous every weekend.
I don't know, Dan. You're being roped in, mate. You're being roped in.
Yeah, well, I think
because there was a period of time you were like an island, weren't you, between Forest and Liverpool? Like you looked like you were definitely not going to get dragged in. But the fact it's only like 4 points, like for instance, if we win at the weekend, would you be concerned? I'm not saying Chelsea will either. I'm not that confident, but are you then going to be concerned that you're in a pretty like ropey position.
Arsenal or Forest? Who you talking
Arsenal.
about? I mean, yeah. I've got to be honest. I don't really care. I think you're speaking to the wrong person, Reed. Dan, if I'm honest, I honestly couldn't give a shit if we come second.
He's so done with this season, isn't it?
I'm just sick of this league. It's absolutely shit season.
The worst thing is, Dan, you called all of this in the summer. You called the season. If nothing changed, this is how it'd end up, and you've got it like bang on.
Yeah, but the thing is, that is too tight. Can you just bring that back up, LB? Because if they lose to you, that puts you on what 50? Where are you? You go to 52. We've got Ipswich. Yeah, if we beat Ipswich, we're going on 54. And if Man City beat Brighton, they're on 50. With Newcastle having a game in hand,
Newcastle.
They're running is ugly, man. Arsenal haven't got the easiest of the runners.
To be fair,
and they've got Real Madrid
drying up is my concern for Arsenal at the moment. I think in the league.
Exactly that. I know Hooks will get offended in the chat.
I think if I'm honest, if we beat Chelsea, we're 9 points clear of Chelsea.
Yeah, if you beat Chelsea,
that kills them. Yeah. That kills them.
So I think that's how important the game is. If you want to look at it like that, I think Arsenal fans that probably aren't like me are looking at it like that. I just couldn't give a toss. Honestly, I don't care. We ain't going to win the league.
Let's have a look at these fixtures. So tough. Not tough. Not tough. At home, so not tough. Tough. Not tough.
Yeah, but you got to sandwich those non-tough ones in between Real Madrid.
Nah, come on, Ipswich Town, man.
No, I'm not talking about Ipswich. I'm talking about Brentford at home. Suddenly, in between the Real Madrid matches.
But they don't need to win that, do they? If they beat like fucking Southampton, Bournemouth at home, Ipswich away, that's 9 points.
Liverpool and Newcastle end of the season's tricky, isn't it?
Bournemouth.
Yeah, but if they win them 3 games, that's 9 points, right? How many points are they on now?
I think he'll be done by the time we get to Anfield. For Arsenal, anyway. Not for the title, for top 4.
That'll put them on 64 then, Wolfie. And I'm saying 66 gets it, and they've still got another 7 games.
There is a chance. There's a chance we can fall off completely and just concentrate on Champions League. But I think because there's the 5th place, I think it'll be a roll of the dice.
Is that still safe after?
I think so.
Yeah, still good.
It was at 98%.
Yeah, but obviously, I don't think that was it that predicted.
I think the closest other country is Italy, off the top of my head. Oh, is it Spain now? Spain have moved up.
When I looked yesterday, I hadn't updated. Fair enough. Yeah.
What I don't get is the points here is they've got less points than them. So does it go off the average or does it go off the points? Because these got less points.
Average, off the average, isn't it? So I don't understand. I don't understand it. If I'm honest, I think if I'm honest with you, the quality of English Premier League is absolute shambles. How we're given 5 places now and weren't years ago is absolutely mad to me. Like I look at the quality and I think, wow. Like you look at like years ago when it was always Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and everyone was like, "What about us? What about us?" Because we're all so good as well. And I was like, "Yeah, fair." There's some teams at the time like Newcastle who, under Sir Bobby Robson, were absolute quality. To be fair to them, and you look now and you think, "Wow, we're getting like gifting these kind of 5 places." You can get like if you come 8th in the Premier League, you pretty much guarantee European football now. It's like, wow, that's mad.
Do you remember scenario,
even like 2019,
top 12?
Yeah, there's a scenario.
11, I think. It's 11. Without
it's 12. It's 12.
It's 12. That's nuts.
Yeah,
but that would mean we'd have to win the Champions League or something, or like Liverpool. That's not.
It would need Villa to win the Champions League and all this. But there is a scenario it could go down to 12, which is absolutely crazy. Can you imagine almost being relegated and still? Actually, man, you could qualify that way, couldn't they? The race for 12.
Well, Man United, in theory, I think are still favourites to win the Europa League. Actually,
please don't say that.
No, I think they are.
Let me have a look at that Europa League
because
that saves them. That saves their future. I'll tell you what. If Man U win the Europa League, I still blame Man City.
By the way, right on United, very quickly because I know it's title race, but anyone rating their stadium? Because I actually think it looks quite good.
I think it looks stupid, personally.
Really? I quite like it.
Reminds me of Circus. What's it called?
It's like a circus. It's got a tent over it.
Do you know? I was watching that's all to do with rain and solar, isn't it? It's like because you get so much rain in Manchester, they wanted somewhere that could be usable with or without the weather being the right conditions. Apparently.
Yeah, I think it's a joke. And what are those like? You know those
It's meant to be the trident, isn't it? But I
just
quite
looks like
it.
a bit out of Star Wars. Do you remember in
I
the
think
Clone
it's
Wars?
like,
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like there's buildings there, the Jedi Master temples and all this.
They are actually officially the banter club now, Man United. They're absolutely
I quite like
hilarious.
I quite like the stadium.
They're hilarious. The stadium will be amazing because it's a brand new 100,000 seat stadium, but the tent over it just makes it look like I know it's a circus of a club, but now they really are a circus when you got a tent over it. I mean, that is just embarrassing, isn't it? That really is embarrassing.
Do you know what the funniest thing with that whole presentation was? Did you see the scoreboard that they put in there? 3-0.
Did you see someone edit it and put 3-0 Tranmere? Sky Bet
championship flags.
Mate, it's mad where they design these. You got a toilet bowl for Tottenham. You got a circus tent for Man United. What is happening here? Like,
exactly. Someone's asking why would I blame City?
Wouldn't you rather it look a bit different and stand out so that it's like, you know, like San Siro, you can picture like the four corners of the ground looking like the cylinders, and then Wembley used to have it now has the arch, but used to have the towers. I like there being something a bit different so that you can picture the exact stadium.
But doesn't Wembley give you OCD? Like it hasn't got two arches. I don't know why it's one. I just think
I'll be honest. Balanced. I don't really like the look of the new Wembley, to be honest with you. But
the new Wembley's fucking soulless, man.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I wondered.
Man.
It's hard to say. But you go to so many like bowl stadiums now, and when you go to like, I like going to like a Villa Park or something that's just a bit different.
That's why I think the new Everton one might actually be decent.
That reminds me of Schalke's. That new Everton one.
Now that Everton one reminds me of a toilet seat. You know the stainless steel toilet ones you see.
Everyone said it was Tesco Superstore, didn't they? Is what they were saying the Everton one looks like.
Yeah, no, but I think at least Everton's is more football-y.
Yeah, because it's like closed in sides and it's like steep and well, United apparently have tried to do that with this one. Apparently, that's their idea as well. They want it to be like 5 meters from the pitch and
the best thing about them is they can all these new stadiums now. They can learn from like all the stadiums that have been done and go, well, what worked, what didn't work. You know what I mean? So you look at
it's an entertainment center, LB. It's not a stadium anymore.
But you can still have an entertainment stadium entertainment center where the seats are close to the pitch and therefore
that netting comes all the way up over the roof to use as acoustics as well. Apparently, like.
But did you see the breakdown of the seating? You know they're saying that's 100K stadium, 85K is fans, 15K is corporate for each match. It's like.
I mean that's what's going to happen, isn't it? They're going to get the cash.
They're asking why I blame City. Because you lost the FA Cup to them. If it wasn't for City, they wouldn't have been in Europe this season. If it wasn't for City, they wouldn't have had a chance of being in Europe next season. It all comes back to that FA Cup match.
What is it with Man City, man? Like this season, FA Cup final. What is going on with them at Man United? Gee, it's just a derby thing.
Half the players were drunk, apparently. So,
it's mad, you know. It's mad. West Ham on stadiums quickly. West Ham's is by far the worst. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so far away, man.
Oh, that is such a shit stadium, and it's crazy as well because like their old stadium was fucking mint. Yeah, I mean,
it's so big up the park.
Yeah, I love that stadium. That was like that for me was like the English football stadium. Like Upton Park was like one of the ones that you went. Yeah, if you wanted to like talk about old school English stadium, you go over that. And then this new
Stamford Bridge is good, to be fair. I must say,
I never done Stamford Bridge. I never done it. But that's the same sort of stuff. Old school.
There's
stadium,
plenty of tickets tonight, LB. If you want to get a train down.
Like, who are you playing tonight?
Copenhagen, second leg, isn't it?
Oh,
what's this aggregate score?
2-1. We're 2-1. It's actually closer than it should be, really.
Are you actually low key buzzing that you're playing like a decent team in Copenhagen rather than?
Do you know what? I was looking at the away leg and like they made it an unreal atmosphere. And I've never been Copenhagen away. I wish I'd gone now, but I was just not really into the Conference League enough. But yeah, I think so. I think it's a lively fan base to come into Stamford Bridge that it might pick up our atmosphere a little bit as well. Because I mean, Chelsea's atmosphere has been ropey post-COVID, to be completely honest with you. What Chelsea have actually done for tonight, right? Because I agree. I think a few years ago, Chelsea's atmosphere used to be good. It was close to the pitch, but the noise just isn't generated at the moment. They've actually got a singing section dedicated of like 100, 200 fans that are going to sit all together to see if they can adjust the seats going forwards to try and regenerate some atmosphere, because it's been pretty drastic.
Yeah,
because we have our two side stands are pretty much pretty much corporate and hospitality for the majority of the seats available in those stands.
Really?
Especially the upper tiers, middle and upper tiers is pretty much that. So
are you getting a new stadium or what? What's this CPO thing?
Yeah, so the pitch owners? So Chelsea pitch owners own I think it's the name and the pitch at Stamford Bridge, and maybe the title of Chelsea Football Club.
Right. So who owns that then? Who are the owners of that?
An organisation called the CPO, Chelsea Pitch Owners, and you buy shares as a fan to be part of that, so that they can generate money to basically what happened is when Ken Bates was selling the club to Roman, I think he created this to protect it from being taken away from Chelsea. So if they want to move somewhere else and the pitch owners go, you can't do that, they'll have to rename the team and start off in a lower division. It's basically to protect what happened for AFC Wimbledon not happening to Chelsea. You know, they went MK Dons, moved them halfway up the country, sort of franchised it. It's basically to protect that. So no matter what.
So basically, what you're sort of saying is the guy who owns Chelsea Football Club owns everything, but apart from the name.
Yeah, apart from the name and the pitch at Stamford Bridge.
So if he wanted to move Chelsea Football Club to a different part of London, he would have to get the permission of the CPO.
Yeah, he'd have to buy it off the pitch owners, and they'd have to come to an agreement to sell it, but they just won't, because that's everything they stand for, is to protect the name of the club. So in theory, what could happen is if they wanted to move, Chelsea would still potentially be able to play, obviously with no money and all that sort of stuff, but with the name Chelsea on the pitch at Stamford Bridge forever, no matter where they sort of ended up, and any Phoenix team that was created would have to restart from the bottom.
And
so it's just
different.
Huh?
And be called something different. It won't be
they'd have to be like London or something like that.
Blues.
Or the Chelsea or something like that. Yeah.
The Chelsea, proper Chelsea.
No, this is no joke. That has been trademarked by Blueco, the Chelsea and Chelsea.
No way.
Yeah, it has. And obviously Blueco now as well own the Cobham. They own the hotels. They've transferred things out. So if Blueco were to sell Chelsea, the person buying Chelsea would then not own certain things around the stadium because Blueco own it. So they'd have to then buy the training ground off of Blueco separately. Yeah. No, honestly, it's crazy. These guys are so smart. Although they've used it to dodge FFP and stuff, the fact is they now own very, very expensive real estate in London and surrounding areas.
Didn't they sell the women's team as well?
Yep. So if you bought Chelsea, you wouldn't own a certain part of the women's team as well. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because they had to sell everything in it to bypass.
That's why it's things like that led to the protest the other day. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's because of Maresca in the position." It's not. It's other things going on around the club that have obviously led to that. But yeah, big game tonight, and hopefully we could just sort of focus on that, because so I heard a big debate about whether or not Conference League would be enough for Maresca to have a successful season, and I just don't think it would be. I think you
gotta get Champions League as well, man. You gotta get Champions League as well. Yeah. If you don't win that Conference League, though, my God, Lawless will be absolutely cooking you lot if you don't win that Conference League. By the way,
you've got to win the champion. You got to win the Conference League, man. There can't be anything there. You've got to win it. You've got to win it. Just
quickly, just to say something, because I'm seeing Wab Sports obviously commenting about Blueco as an entity. Blueco is a multi-club ownership model. So the issue is if they do sell Blueco as an entity, the buyer would have to be willing to purchase the multi-club model, which isn't always necessarily the case. If someone wanted to just purchase Chelsea, they aren't going to want to potentially purchase Strasbourg and all the other multi-club models.
What other clubs do you own?
It isn't false narratives and fake news. It's not.
What other clubs do you own? You own Strasbourg.
Yeah, and they're obviously looking to get involved in some other clubs. I think what their plan is that they want clubs that have a direct link to talent commodity pools like South America, Africa, so that Strasbourg is great to attract French African players over, and Portugal is great for the South American talent pool as well, because obviously they get easier visas and things like that. So it's so smart. I've listened to him speak about it. It is really clever. It comes from the NBA apparently. Apparently, in the NBA they've got set up these schools in foreign countries where they bring these players over and they get easier visas and stuff. It's an American model that seems to be.
Yeah, and you're in 2 clubs, mate. I got 3 with my 4th incoming. Why do you think I've got to do, mate?
Yeah, and then obviously Leon are part of one, aren't they? With Botafogo and City have obviously got there.
City have got Girona.
We got like fucking 12.
Girona, yeah. Toulouse. No, was it Toulouse?
But our guy was the guy who wanted to start it. Sorry, Arnold. And he wanted to do it at Barcelona when he was at Barcelona. And they said no. Barcelona said, no, that's not a good idea. It's not going to work. So he went, right, whatever. He left, come to City. And then we're fucking on about 12 clubs now. Now everyone's doing it.
Well, we got an issue now because Olympiacos are top of the Greek league. And we're in the Champions League spot. So there's a lot of moving around with directors right now.
Yeah, so that's what happened to us with Girona. So what UEFA did, UEFA put a ban on City and Girona doing any player trading deals. We can't loan them players, we can't buy them players, they can't sell us players, we can't buy anyone yet and that we can't do that until next January. It even includes this summer. And they basically
you had to wheel and deal for Savinho, didn't you?
Yeah, but we got that done before the ban came in. Because obviously we actually bought him before Girona qualified for the Champions League. We bought him in like January or something. And then UEFA made City and Girona like prove that the boards are independent.
Yeah.
So they have to sign it off into a trust, don't they, or something like that?
You have to do some.
We've got it now because if Strasbourg qualify for Europe somehow, it could obviously hinder Chelsea's chances, and no matter who, it's about who finishes higher. Potentially means if you get into the Champions League or not, and who gets priority.
Yeah, so Olympiacos if the rules, if they didn't do their little backdoor dealings, Forest would get demoted into Europa. It is crazy.
Does anyone rate it? I kind of wish
any of these teams ever come up against each other in the competition?
Red Bull have, but I think they get around it, don't they? But Salzburg have definitely been playing Leipzig in Europe.
I would love to see what Marinakis would do if it was Forest Olympiacos semi-final in the Champions League, mate. Crazy.
That would be awkward, that wouldn't it, for him?
He'd be loving it though. He'd be lining his pockets.
Oh yeah, I know. He'd buy another yacht with that. 100%, mate. 100%. All right. Who you got at the weekend, Wolfie?
Ipswich.
That's a straight dub, then, isn't it? You win that. That's Champions League absolutely confirmed for you.
Yeah.
Are you buzzing? Are you buzzing to be back in the Champions League?
Well, I've never seen it, mate. The only ever European thing I saw was Europa under Frank Clark. Because even though we finished third, back then it was only top two, or was it even maybe been one back then that got into Champions League? So, yeah, I've only ever seen Europa. That's it in my lifetime. I'm not old enough for the stars, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Getting used to midweek games again. Midweek games used to be championship for me, mate. Tuesdays and Saturdays and what have you. So, yeah, it'd be good to. I don't know. Ask me at the end of the season, mate. Let's not jinx anything yet.
What are you saying for the weekend, Dan?
Oh, mate, I'm not confident going into this one. Obviously, last season was 5-0, wasn't it? We were probably in a worse place going into last season, but yeah, I'm not confident at all, to be honest with you, because I was looking at who we've got to start tonight. We've got a lot of injuries, and I don't think anyone's going to be returning in time. So I think we'll have a massive fatigue issue as well. We've got Gusto injured now as well. So yeah, I'm not confident at all.
Where is it?
Emirates.
Arsenal.
Oh,
Sunday first game, is it?
You still playing Neto up front? Is that your tactic?
Yeah, Neto up front. Yeah. So, but he'll rest tonight.
Neto
probably.
and Marino as the two strikers, mate.
I was going to say, this has got 0-0 written all over.
Yeah, that's what I've gone.
I would take that. I would absolutely take
0-0. I'm hoping we nick it 1-0 stinkily, but I think it'll be a 0-0 shitty game. I'm lucky that I'm missing it, to be honest. I'm at Stag weekend, so I'm not going to even go to the game. So it's going to be like, oh, what a shame. So I've given me a ticket. And I'm just like, let's just go and have some fun with the boys. But yeah, man, I don't fancy our chances against that. It's like the most deflated I've been now. Every single weekend, I'm like, oh, who we got? Oh, they got them. If we brilliant, that'd be fun. I just want to see.
Yeah, it's dead because you're not in a title race. I don't think you're in a top 4 race. So like the Premier League games now for you are just like don't really mean anything.
You're in a Champions League race.
10 games to go. I feel like that's a dangerous position to be in. That's potential 30 points that other teams could gain.
Dan, that's what I'm saying. They've thrown in, like, Arsenal when we played them looked like they couldn't be asked. City
You'd rather be hungry for something, rather than being
100%.
a little bit. That's honestly, mate, it's a 2-0 lead. Like you concede one, you're in a dodgy area. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't get comfortable.
If they get beat off Chelsea this weekend, I'll start talking about it. Yeah, but I just think that they're too far. If it was like 5 or 4, maybe, but they're 8 points ahead, man. And I just think that's too much.
I think we can sneak past them. They may not drop out of the top four.
You could definitely overtake them, but I don't think there's when there's not close enough, man. They're not close enough to drop out the top 5. But if they get beat against Chelsea, then maybe I'll start looking at it going, hang on a minute, maybe they will. But at this moment in time, I just don't see it. I really don't. It's too many points, man. You know what I mean? But like I say, if Chelsea win the game, that's mint for them as well for Champions League, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Well,
what do you want out of this?
So tough.
What?
It's so tough for Chelsea to get Champions League football with our running, and the fact that if we do make Conference League final, it's an extra 5 games. By the way,
mate, your running is horrific.
Our running, the last 5 games,
ugly, man.
Chelsea have to capitalise on every fixture before our last 5 games, otherwise we're in a dodgy position. And
if you're not in there.
You might throw in quarterfinal. You might throw in quarterfinal, semi-final, and a final. So an extra 5 European games as well.
Look at that running! Liverpool, Newcastle United, Forest, even Everton at home.
Everton at home,
bro. Even Fulham away. They're
started from there.
Well, we lost to Fulham at home, and we lost to Ipswich away.
Yeah. What you got in between now and then?
And you might throw in those fixtures, you might have 5 more European fixtures as well. Wow, because we could go to the final of the Conference League.
That is crazy. Yeah,
you know what?
Looking at them fixtures, I don't think you get top 5.
I don't think we do. They showed John Obi Mikel, and he went, "Whoa, I'm done. No way." Because it's
I'd say Ipswich is the only given there. Do you know what I mean? Like the rest. Well, you could say Spurs. I mean, Spurs always lose at the bridge, don't they?
Yeah, I would have said, looking at that, it's Spurs and Ipswich that Chelsea like probably guarantee 6 points. Other than that, I don't know.
That's horrible, man.
Yeah,
that's actually horrible. That is.
And can you imagine those fixtures alone getting to rest your squad is okay potentially that you might be able to like pick up an extra 3 points, 4 points somewhere. The fact that we're not going to be able to rotate our squad is way weaker than what it was pre-January. Like it's going to be a very difficult run for Chelsea. That's what I'm saying. If Maresca goes and wins the Conference League and fails to get Champions League football, I honestly think that could be a sackable offence. I don't think it's good enough.
I agree. I think it's a sackable offence. If you don't get top 5 as well, the fact he's got an extra spot.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get it, I think that's a sackable offence. It really is, man.
But remember, he was tasked with that next year, not this year. Finishing top 4.
I know. You can't be using that as an excuse.
This is why I don't mind a Chelsea win this weekend, because your fixtures are so stinky. From like my perspective, because I want to catch Arsenal. I don't know what you want, Elby. You'd probably want Arsenal to win.
I want Arsenal to win, yeah, obviously, yeah.
I think even with Chelsea's stinky fixtures,
you need like Arsenal to pull clear, don't you?
I don't think Chelsea those fixtures are going to get Champions League. The way they're playing, unless they miraculously. I mean, I understand. Don's told me that Enzo is now Zidane, so obviously Chelsea's midfield is top level. It's maybe he can get you across the line. Not that I think Enzo's a shocker, by the way, but I've not seen enough to think that in the last 2 years he's been worth anywhere near that money, even though he's got a bit better apparently.
He's definitely got better. This is the mad thing is that he's got Mudrik's personal trainer, and there's been a definite improvement. So you read into that what you will, but honestly,
what type of trainer?
But for the money that's been spent, for me, this should be like the absolute minimum level a player should be at when you.
Can you admit that when everyone's fit, he doesn't start for you?
No, I think he does now. You know, if he didn't start, I'd be like, oh no, Enzo. And a few months ago, I would have been like, I don't want him to start. But I think he's done enough now.
So Lavia Caicedo Palmer, you'd have
Caicedo
Enzo Palmer, would you?
He thrives in Maresca's system more so than Cole Palmer and a couple of other players. I'm not saying he's better, but I think the system suits a player like Enzo Fernandez way more than it suits Cole Palmer and a couple of others.
Would you drop Palmer then when they're
I wouldn't. I think what needs to happen is Cole Palmer is currently operating in the left like half space, and it just does not suit his game.
No,
bro, I've been saying this for fucking years, man.
Honestly, I did a tactical breakdown a few months ago, and a couple of people were like, "Now this is such rubbish," but honestly, it's so true. He looks so uncomfortable. It's like if you played Mahrez left wing or left 10.
Bro, I've been saying this for like fucking 3 years, man.
Honestly,
when my fan base was saying every time he gets a chance, he's been shit. I said, yeah, because he played left wing.
Yeah. He needs to I had a massive argument. I was sat in a Mafia the other day, and some bloke was just like, "It's just not the case, mate." And I was like, "Look at the heat maps and look at his performances. When he's occupying that area, there is a genuine issue." So yeah, he needs
to be off of the right. Yeah. So he can
have
come in
have
and
either an
Robin
overlapping fullback or a winger that's going to go to the byline, so it creates the defensive line goes a little bit deeper towards their own goal and frees up that edge space on the edge of the box.
Correct.
That's exactly where
he's got to be able to cut in on his left foot.
He has to, because his whole game and Poch actually figured that out and made his whole system based around him, and that's why he thrived last season. Maresca's said as soon as he got in, we can't be Cole Palmer FC, and it has to be everyone involved in this system. And I think to the downfall of Cole Palmer, actually, and I think it's a very simple tweak. I think you could allow Cole Palmer to operate in the space that Enzo Fernandez is currently operating in, and you might fix it. But for some reason, Maresca's not adjusting it, and I think it's all to do with balance and the inverting fullback occupying the area that he wants Cole Palmer to. So yeah, it's not great.
All right. Big up to you lads, man. Big up to you guys in the chat as well. Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. We're gonna wrap up right here. I'm going live with Hooks, so I'm gonna redirect you there, man. So yeah, make sure you join. That starts in 15 minutes, so make sure you go over, smash a like on that one. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. But yeah, big up to Wolfie, big up to Potsy, big up to Dan. We're here every Thursday. Rom's couldn't make it. He says he was busy. Maybe he was. We'll take his word for it, man. Maybe he was ducking. Who knows, man? But yeah, big up to you guys. I'll be live again later on. I don't know if I'm doing the United game yet. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, stay tuned. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, people.